Hello there, welcome to Double Exposure. I'm Riyad and this is Omar.
So now today we're talking about Amazon's newly released fantasy TV show Wheel of Time, which is of course based on the really famous fantasy book series. So what do you think? Did you like it?
I liked it, but that's the thing. I think this TV show wasn't that friendly for a newcomers because you are a fan of these books. I haven't read them, so I only heard from you about these books way before it, even though TV shows were released like they were planned. But overall, I think it was a solid introduction for a new project.
I mean, we only got the first 3 episodes of an hopefully 8 episode thing, and I must say that I liked what they did. Props to the showrunners, everything felt organic. There was no feeling of campiness or cheesiness about it. So a little bit of backstory about the wheel itself. Did you get the idea of the Wheel of Time, the titular thing that the whole thing is based about from what you watched?
Personally, no. But thankfully, you were besides me when we were watching the episodes. So whenever I had questions, we had to pause, and you were explaining me. Okay, Wheel of Time is this. This mages are doing this, and what are their intentions?
For those who are listening, the Wheel of Time is at the center and core of everything is the wheel itself, which is basically the idea of reincarnation. There are set individuals who, with each turning of the wheel, will reincarnate, and our show follows the 5 individuals, the main characters, the titular, the 5 from Emmons Field, and the first book basically covers their journey from realizing who they are, and like that. Hopefully the show will cover the first book fully, and from the episode names it seems to be so. So what do you think? Should we talk about the first episode?
Yeah, let's start. So, from what I understood, you expected somewhat of a prologue in the openings of the episode because there was something similar in the books.
Yeah. The first book's let's say cold open was much better than it was in than what it was done in the TV show, because the prologue in the book takes place some 3,000 years ago and sets up the whole events. But here we got a cold open, which I think in terms of the TV show episodes that we got was the weakest, with the red mage women chasing men, and then obviously showing women in power, which is actually a big part of the book. And
so it is big part of the book. It's not big. Done for this TV show.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay.
But they could have been more subtle in showing the themes of women in power, and them showing that the red witches chasing men, and immediately after showing women circle was a bit too on the face. I think one of the two would have sufficed. Maybe them showing like a pan out shot of a canyon where Moiraine and Lan were looking down. We didn't need to explicitly being shown that.
One thing to say about the prologue, I personally expected somewhat similar to what in Lord of the Rings has been done. It is like a very extended 10 or 15 minutes backstory retelling that creates a lore, a backstory for newcomers.
Yeah, surprisingly, they did it completely like backwards. We got that at the end of the episode, if you remember, with Moiraine giving a monologue about the Wheel of Time itself, how with each turning, history turns into legend, and into next turning, the legend turns into myth. It should have been in the start of it, because before the first chapter, you know, books have this opening word thing. That was the speech, like direct copy.
But one thing, this line that she says about it, it doesn't feel like an exposition. It just felt like a normal dialogue that she says, and it wasn't underlined as something important for the backstory of this TV show.
Yeah. So then we're introduced to the cast.
Main characters.
Yeah, main character. Which I thought that their chemistry was pretty organic.
So you were okay with the performances, in accordance to the parallels that you've read from the books?
Yeah. They show their like relationship, because they all grew up
In the same
yeah,
village.
in the same village, in the same neighborhood, let's say. They felt like they were friends. But I want to make note of Barney Harris's character, Matt, who was notoriously underdeveloped in the first 3 books. But here he was given a good development because we were shown his, let's say, like bad parents and him trying to take care of his sisters. That was in the book, but it was never explicitly stated.
So what do you think about him being recasted for the 2nd season? Will it harm the TV show?
I mean, I'm already kind of like bound to this particular actor because
He played it well?
Yeah, he played it well, and he also showed us the side of Matt that wasn't in the books. We always were implied these things that, okay, he's had a bad childhood growing up. He's always felt that he needs to protect his sisters. This was done here beautifully, and I don't know what will happen in the 2nd season, but hopefully they will make like a healthy transition to a different actor.
Talking about development, what do you think about the main character according to the book?
I mean, Rand, as it stands right now, is the least developed of the main 5.
Yes, yeah,
due
I agree
to
with that.
some scenes being cut from the book. He had some conversations with his father, but this is again a consequence of the
Having a lot of characters.
Yeah. You can't do that with a 59 or 50-minute runtime. Yeah.
One thing I would just want to add, like, if you haven't told me that the main character's name was Rand and he wasn't a red-headed character, I will then realize that the character was the main protagonist of this whole story. That was for a newcomer as me a little bit jarring.
Because you can't show the internal monologues.
Yeah.
And the first, like, let's say 10 or 15 chapters of the book was
Just his
exclusively
thoughts.
his internal monologues and his point of view. Rand gets kind of cut down in this version, and because most of his scenes were his internal monologues and him talking with his father, these scenes were cut, obviously, because as from past experience we can see that monologues don't work well in.
What about new things
shows.
added? I think one character had a wife in this TV
Yeah,
show. Didn't have any in the book.
Perrin, one of the other thief friends, he has a new subplot which is with his wife, but she unfortunately gets fridged. We will talk about that a little bit later. So
and also the last character.
Egwene, the female of the 5, like the first woman of the 5, she's introduced a little bit earlier than the others. In the women's circle, where she's thrown off the cliff to like signify her getting to adulthood, because joining the women's circle is a cute, heartwarming practice that they do in the village. But watching that scene, I thought, what if they didn't push her hard enough and she just splattered on the rocks or something?
So you're saying that this scene wasn't present in the books?
No, it wasn't present, but again, it was implied, because
it was implied something similar happened.
Yeah. We're told that there is some kind of ceremony. That the women do in this village when they reach a certain age. Something to note, there are a bunch of Easter eggs sprinkled for book readers.
This is probably for you, not for me, because I wouldn't get them.
Yeah, when our let's say she's the Gandalf of the our party.
Moiraine, played by Rosamund Pike.
She's the Gandalf of our party. For those who watched Lord of the Rings, she and Lan are scouting. Lan, who is her warder, her partner. They are scouting in the forest, and they see a body strewn across in the shape of a dragon's fang. This is Easter eggs for book readers. And then we see skyscrapers overgrown, which is indicative of this being a post-apocalyptic world. This is just plot reasons. But where we've picked up in the village were at the like winter's day of Beltane,
Mm-hmm.
and many people are saying that this attack came too like abrupt. For me, even though I was coming, I thought that too, because they're dancing and it's like a wholesome vibe, and immediately someone gets like impaled by a.
So you think was it successful doing that, the surprise attack,
Yeah,
in the sense of TV show?
they could have made it that all five characters are together and then the attack happened. We see just Egwene dancing with some poor kid who gets impaled
Backstab,
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah. And the use of shaky cam was successful in that
Creating the sense of confusion,
in
huh?
conveying the sense of confusion. We initially don't see like a good outline of what the actual attackers look like, and then as the confusion settles down a little, we take a look at our, like, let's say, orc figures, which are named Trollocs. And
What do you think? How were these orc figures, Trollocs, or portrayed? Did they were successful as in the books that they were?
Yeah, I mean, they're always described as an amalgamation of men and beasts. They're violent, brutal, feral,
Hulking,
yeah,
colossal.
Yeah, they're kind of big, and I think with a mix of CGI and practical effects, they achieved something that closely resembles their book counterparts.
I just want to add one thing to this discussion, to this scene of attack. I did not expect that this TV show be violent. Like when the Trollocs were introduced, they started impaling people, like the gushes
their
of blood.
guts.
They started eating their gut. I expected somewhat more of a Lord of the Rings, like a PG-13 stuff fantasy, but this kind of scene set it up that it's much more mature.
Yeah, for many people it was like that. It came as too surprising because on one hand we have like a cute, wholesome
the village,
village life, and then immediately we're cutting to people getting their guts eaten out.
Is it similar in the books? Is it
Mature?
mature?
It has dark themes, but I think this was a creative choice that they went, because it's consistently violent in the other episodes too. Then they show Lan and Moiraine fighting in tandem, and I think they did really good in portraying them as being synchronous, because for those who have read the books, they know that they share not just a friendly bond. They're actually bonded together, body and mind.
Those fight scenes were, I think, were successful in the conveying. Like, I haven't read the book, but I already understood that they are in unimind kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was one specific scene when there was a Trolloc coming towards Moiraine, and Lan just looked at her for 1 second and she ducked.
Yeah, that was good. That they portrayed them working together really well. But the episode itself ended like too abruptly, without the fan favorite speech of Moiraine about what this village actually used to be in the previous cycle, which instead gets told in
a fast dialogue.
Yeah, in the next episode.
Yeah, it wasn't an exposition-filled ending. It was
we immediately just
mount your horses and let's go.
Yeah. The scene was in the book was set up in a more of a way that you people are destined to do this. Here we see just Trollocs coming down the mountain, and Moiraine says that
we have to go.
We have to go, or we're all gonna die.
One thing that bugged me very well is that when Moiraine said that you four, because of you four, they're coming here. But obviously, because they're the main characters, because until like 40 minutes we've seen all those characters. But for example, why not the other guys who are also 20 years old, as Moiraine was looking for?
They weren't as explicit as they were in the books, because some people are asking why did Moiraine specifically come to this village, because in the next episodes we know that there are a couple of villages near this one, and why did the Trolloc army and the Fade specifically target to this village? But let me tell you that they basically, our main characters have, let's say, trackers on them, which the mage users, like magic users, they can be tracked easily. That's why they always follow them, because basically the scene with Frodo having the ring,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
the Nazgul like following the rings.
I think this will be the first and the last Lord of the Rings parallels that we try to
Yeah.
catch.
I mean, those who have watched, they probably have felt that this has been really inspired by Lord of the Rings, because Robert Jordan has explicitly stated that this was like his retelling of Lord of the Rings. So let's talk about episode 2, which had a much stronger opening, with a questioning of the White Cloaks burning an Aes Sedai. I know you too like this scene with him eating a whole big ass chicken.
Yeah. I think that this introduction worked very well to setting up these group of people as different than what we've already seen.
Yeah, I mean, even their clothing was specifically made like they're extreme purists.
Yes,
They wear
yeah.
white clothing with, which I thought looked pretty cool. I mean, like costume design is consistent, like consistently good across the board.
Personally, for me, like I thought this group was created as a threat. Maybe it's not in the books.
Yeah,
but
they're villains.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're villains. So I think it made a very good job while showing that how threatening they could be.
Yeah, but many people are saying that okay, we're shown Trollocs, they're the bad guys. Then we're shown the Fate, they're the bad guys. Then we're shown White Cloaks, they're the bad guys. And everyone asking, well, how many antagonists does this show have? And to that I will question that they will have a lot, because this is a 14-book series, and throughout this 14 book journey, we meet a lot of bad guys. Then we cut to after the opening to cut to
The opening. Let's talk about the opening. What do you think about the opening? Was it good?
I mean,
as a book fan.
I would have wanted to see they incorporate like the book's whole theme of weaving and fate.
I think it was interesting, like with the idea of fate too.
Yeah, but I would like to see more of the main characters in the weaving itself. We only see the female characters.
We see the female character. We
Not
see
even the female characters. We see characters who haven't been introduced yet. It's weird.
and at the end we see different colored mages.
Yeah.
And you also give me an example that the logo that they use for Wheel of Time.
Yeah, normally it was an Ouroboros, which is like a snake eating itself. But this time it's more of a wheel, like playing into the name.
I think it was much more logical, because Ouroboros itself has been used in Altered Carbon.
Yeah, it's been overused.
Overused, yeah.
So then after the opening we cut to our characters on the road, and we finally get the speech between
characters
and Moiraine talking to them about what they
importance
are.
of their importance to the story.
Yeah.
I think that was actually not for the characters, it was more of for viewers to understand why specifically
because
for.
In the first episodes we don't get a lot of like development from any of these characters. Rand, Perrin, Matt, and Egwene included. But then, after they stop to take a rest, Egwene and Moiraine talk in the forest, which is again like a direct parallel from the books. I think they did a good job of showing like Moiraine's ability to twist words, because the moment Moiraine says that you have the one power, you can do that, you can do this, she says that I can't do it, both meaning that I can't be a Aes Sedai, and like I don't have the capabilities for it. And Moiraine specifically focuses on one part of her word. That's like consistent in that Moiraine is portrayed as like more of a regal person who has been in a court with kings and queens, and she's more political in that she twists the words of others.
I think this characterization was great out of all the characters, because we already, even though without hearing her background, her backstory, we already kind of know that she's been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Then we cut to the boat scene where characters need to cross a lake, and they request
Again,
the
similar
help.
to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We're closely following the tropes. They're trying to run from Trollocs and Fates, and they get on a boat, And the moment they cross, they see that they have arrived to the village, and they start slaughtering, obviously, because they're mindless, like slaughterers. And the boat, like, let's say, captain, he wants to go back, and Moiraine is like, if
get
you
his
do,
family,
if you do, you're dead. And if you get your boat to the other side, we're dead too. Because they
could travel across the river.
So she creates like a vortex to like destroy the boat, and the boat captain is forced to swim back, and he gets sucked into the vortex. I think this again did a really good job in characterizing Moiraine as the person who makes the choice you don't want to make, because the others are like frozen in stupor and looking like
what the hell just happened?
Yeah, what the hell just happened? You want to help the guy because it seems like the good choice for him to get to his family, but you know that if you do help him, you're dead, basically. And then as our party again starts up on going on the road, gets on their horses, we meet the White Cloaks, which were in the opening. And we get a cool scene with the guy in the opening, who is known as a questioner, who discerns the Aes Sedai from normal people. And I mean, he was positively creepy in that came close to.
Yeah, he was really suspicious. The first second, since the first second.
He came in really close, and Lon is like, if you get a little bit closer, I will cut off your hand. I like that. But one thing to note was that the White Cloaks would never suggest someone to go to see Aes Sedai. It's like the whole point of their religion. They're religious zealots. They. Let's say, drawing real parallels, they're the men's rights movement of this world. They don't like women in power, basically.
I think that felt a little bit off to me too, and also I thought that probably this wasn't in the original, but this seems like a creative choice that directors and their screenwriters did, in the sense that giving kind of dimensions to this group.
Yeah, maybe they're shown that they're hypocrites.
Even though they are hunting people, they in front they have apparently a woman who's been hurt, wounded by a Prologue. So the only person who could save them is the person that they're hunting.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe it was just one character's opinion. It wasn't like showing off the whole group's thing, because again, the questioner was suspicious. So then when we take our next stop, the party gets their first vision from the man with the coal eyes, which I won't spoil for those.
You're saying first vision, so we're gonna have lots of this.
He's gonna haunt these guys' dreams for a couple of times to confuse them. And the moment they wake up, everyone is visibly shooken from what they see.
So all of them seen. Did they see something similar?
No, all of them saw visions tailored specifically to them. Because apart from the one power, which was earlier discussed between Egwene and Moiraine, there is the second magic system, which is associated with dreams in the Wheel of Time, and this figure with the ember eyes, he uses this to basically confuse our party.
All right.
And them telling the four people telling the Moiraine about their dreams, she's visibly tapped out. And
she understood what is going on.
Yeah, she said we need to move. But I like that when she was wounded, we didn't get a scene where they bandage her. We bandage her up, and then immediately she's healed.
Nothing.
It's more of a realistic thing where she gets more
paler,
more tapped out and exhausted because of her wound. And then again, the parties are attacked by a Prologue and are forced to enter Shadar Logoth, which is the city of shadows or something. But I think there was a storyboarding issue, because normally in the books it was described that Trollocs can't enter the city. There was no such thing as Trollocs not being able to come close to the city.
Yeah, it felt like there was some kind of a magic shield.
Yeah. Trollocs were 100 meters away, and they were just looking. could you guys come any closer? Yeah, I think it was a storyboarding issue where they drew something and then
It didn't work well with the visuals that they
with the
wanted to show.
visuals, yeah, because it seemed like there was such a big distance between the gates and the prologues themselves. So our party gets into the town and Lon tells us about the history of the town, how people built walls around them and didn't make any gates when the Trollocs were attacking other people. This was like 3,000 years ago again. And eventually when they broke through the walls, they saw that there was no one left in the city, not even bugs or birds. And I think the set was perfect in portraying the stillness and the as if people were there just a moment ago. And
as they said in the TV show.
Yeah.
It made sense that this city worked well with the idea that this is a place forgotten by God.
Yeah.
It gave that feeling that one of the characters, when they entered into the city, said that no birds, no bugs, nothing, no sound. The ambience is just silence.
It's gone. Nothing lives here. Yeah, and Lon specifically tells us that you shouldn't touch anything, you shouldn't eat anything that I give you.
Obviously,
but
one of the characters does that.
Yeah, we see Matt taking a dagger because he's characterized as a person who values monetary gain above all else.
So I remember, hold that thought. You said that Matt is more of a rogue of the group.
Yeah. If we had to characterize our main characters, Matt would be a rogue, Perrin would be a barbarian, let's say, two-hander, and Rand would be like a warlock.
What about
Egwene is more of a wizard mage type thing, because as we'll later see, she develops her magic potential.
So the Matt character, he as soon as he saw that,
he had a
trinket,
implication, he had to take the dagger. But some people are saying that because obviously the dagger is cursed, because he took the dagger from a cursed city, and there were whispers the moment he took it out of his sheath. But this scene was a little bit different in the book. There was actually a person who gave him the dagger.
Is he a personification of shadows of this city?
He's the last survivor, and he's the one corrupted by everything done, right? But still, then why did he take the dagger? Again, this goes back to the books, but yeah.
I think it worked well. I did not question the validity of him taking the dagger.
Yeah, and the moment he takes the dagger,
obviously the shadows come up.
The party is forced to flee because of the venom symbiote. There is
it looks
CGI symbiote
Shadow.
kind of thing.
CGI symbiote is Shadow.
Shadow, they're covering the whole
I
city.
think this again, TV show that did very well the threat that they were facing. We usually a lot of fantasy films, every kind of film usually try to show the threat that the characters could have. In the sense here, when a shadow touches one of their horses, it just becomes
like ashes.
It turns into an ash, and I think it was very well shown.
Yeah, I think that specific scene was good in showing both that you don't need to be it doesn't kill you when you immediately touch it, because the horse kind of dances on it a little bit. He tries to dodge it because obviously there's no possible way that they could have escaped if it was
touched
that immediately touched them, they died, because I think in a couple of the scenes the shadows touch their boots and nothing
just
happens. You need to completely be submerged in the shadows to actually be that.
No, the very great visual cues to show that this energy is not something easier. It has a very darkish energy.
But I'd say it looked kind of wonky because our party obviously is separated
because of it being on night. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was extremely dark.
Was it in the day in the book?
No, it was in the dark. But again, it would be very hard to show a shadowed city at night with shadows closing on you.
Yeah.
They
did what
good.
they could.
Yeah, they did good.
As you said, our party got
separated
in a couple of groups.
I think that in one scene where line of shadow is separating them. Rand and Matt could have jumped over the gap. I think maybe it's just me, but it looked as if the line was thin enough. But because of plot reasons,
Because of they had to
yeah,
separate.
they had to separate. Of course, we're separated to try out the combinations of characters we hadn't seen before. We've only seen Perrin and Matt and Rand and Egwene together, and we're separated into groups where
Was
Perrin
it similar
and Egwene
in the books too?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that? Okay.
We missed some characters which will come back in like episode 3, but yeah, the groups are similar. Also, the at the ending scene, we again see Nynaeve, the Wisdom, who we thought was dead.
One of the characters that was introduced in the first episode, but she just miraculously disappeared when they got attacked.
This wasn't like same in the books, because she was one of the people who. There was one scene in the episode 1 which I want to note. Among the chaos of the Prologue attack, we see like a goofy looking people with pitchforks killing them. that didn't fit into the theme they were trying to do, with the villagers being overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the trolls they were facing. In the books, this was like one of the people with the pitchforks was Nynaeve. She wasn't like taken out of the book. The moment the party leaves, she asks to follow them because she wants to bring the others back.
Here, as like the second episode ended, when the third episode started, we introduced how she survived.
Yeah. We see like a Trolloc dragging her by her braid, and I think this fight scene that is followed with her in the cave with the
submerged into water.
Was good in that. Trollocs are beasts of like brute strength. They can be overwhelmed by someone with even a little bit of skill, and she just outsmarts them. They're not smart creatures.
Okay.
And then we cut to one of our lost pairings, Perrin and Egwene, with him getting visions of like wolves and
his dead wife.
Yeah, his dead wife.
And I really like one of the visions, as you mentioned, that there was a man with coal eyes. We saw him in his visions a couple of times, but not explicitly. We saw him looking through the window. Like I just saw looking. Did you saw that?
I didn't see that, even though I was looking for him.
Yeah, I said that. Look at the window. He's there, and we just like 10 seconds before, and said, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
Then we had like a 20-second frame when Perrin becomes man with coal eyes.
Yeah.
Like the vision ideas work well with the things that you've told.
Because with him being there, we're like explicitly shown that this is not like trauma or anything. This is him basically
juggling with their minds.
Yeah, he wants to make them confused. Then we cut to our other pairing with Rand and Matt, like finally arriving to a nearby village.
A newer place.
Yeah, they enter a tavern, and we're finally introduced to a fan favorite character.
Yeah, I remember as soon as his introduction came, we just were introduced to his coat, to his boots. You just said, okay, I know this
before
character.
even showing his face, you're immediately
know who this character will be in importance to the plot.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite character. Tom Merlin, he's like a bard figure, but in the book they call them glee men. But the one thing that came as a bit of a weird thing was that he didn't have a lute, he had a guitar. They're going heavily with themes of this world being like a post-apocalyptic thing, because...
Is it a theory, you said?
It was a theory while people were reading the books, but I think with the scene of them showing like skyscrapers overgrown, they went like full all in with that theory.
But like again, you said it's a theory.
Yeah.
Like it's not a something that is proved.
Maybe it's just mountains that look like skyscrapers.
Probably.
I don't know.
Like maybe because of the guitar that he has, you
Yeah,
started with that.
It seems like kind of weird because the inn was in 16th century medieval Europe, and he had like an acoustic guitar from.
But
20th
like
century.
some of the characters, the costumes that they wear, some of them are not from the fantasy.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one
yeah,
of the
yeah.
sweaters.
They're like high fashion cut clothes.
Yeah.
I think these are like sprinkles of implication. I don't think they will actually
We'll
like
see. We'll see.
go all in on this.
So the introductions of this character, I think it worked very well in the sense that it placed this character as an important one. Like,
He's gonna be like a mentor figure to
our characters.
to our characters.
We already saw the character of Matt being like kind of in his downfall because he started to change rapidly with his attitude and behavior.
Like courtesy of the cursed dagger, I believe. But he seems to think about his priorities I need to like go back to my family. I need to. What am I doing here? I need to go back to my family and my sisters. And again, this is like a lot of character development to a character which didn't have any in the books.
What do you think? Was it needed, this character development in this
TV
show?
I mean, he would have seemed less developed by people who didn't read the books. Just watch the TV show. He would have stood out as the one who was
least
the flattest. And upon entering the city, I forgot to mention that we are introduced to an Aiel, which is the desert people of this world. He was in a cage with arrows, and Matt immediately he doesn't even look at this, but arrows, immediately sees a gem hanging on it. Again,
a rogue.
He is a rogue, and then at night he comes in and he's shown pilfering the corpse for money, and
I like that scene. I really like that scene.
We see his what his priorities are at this moment. With Rand, I need to get back to the other group. We need to get to the tower.
And it's just I'm looking.
Matt is I need money. To get a ticket and go back home.
I really like that scene when the Bart character Tom. He first questioned that what is he doing, and then he asked that why are you doing. He said that I need money for going back, and he said that we all had desperate times, and he turns that let me know when you're finished. And when he takes the ruby, he just said that at least you could
bury him.
It was a great scene.
It parallels it because in the books they are pretty close, but Tom's character is again because of the implication it is shown that maybe he did that before himself. He has been
it was a great scene.
Then we cut to Rand speaking with an innkeeper. And she is she comes out as the first dark friend, which is people who have given their body and soul to this world's equivalent of the devil.
You explained it to me, but for now this episode did not explain it clearly.
I mean the name itself.
Obviously, She wanted to give two of these characters to a dark one.
To the dark one. Then we cut back to our final group, which is Nynaeve, Moiraine, and Lan. And again, this was good because even though Lan is our brooding and a good swordsman, he didn't have the skills enough to heal her. Each character has their own a good side, and he just gets on his horse and throttles on to a nearby cliff, and he sees the red Aja, which are the red Aes Sedai,
mages.
Red mages who we saw in the opening of the first episode. And then we get to meet them with
it ended on a cliffhanger that now we're gonna see the other mages and how they interact with
because it was established that they can heal others, but they can't heal each other. So Moiraine has to get healed by a red mage. So,
Okay, okay.
what do you think overall about all the 3 episodes?
Well, overall, I really liked it. Like from the first episode, it was good, but it wasn't like the best. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
It wasn't a masterpiece. But it was a decent for me to keep moving forward, to keep moving, watching it, to see how it will go. Obviously, for you, it would have been like, I've read the books. I have to watch it to see how they did this book. But as a newcomer, as the first time person to could watch it, this was a good fantasy TV show.
Yeah, if only it just keeps getting better and better, it will be good.
Hopefully.
But they have a lot of plot to like
to squeeze into
yeah,
this
to
season.
squeeze into, because
It
some
felt
at
like
some
that.
some episodes you see that
Pacing issues.
yeah, there were pacing issues. You see that there are some things they want to include, and there are some cut scenes, and you can actually feel their absence. I think.
Like the episode runtime was 59 minutes long.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like out of all 3 episodes, sometimes it felt really long, sometimes it felt very short.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But overall, a very decent fantasy
Yeah,
TV show.
a promising start.
Yeah, a promising start, like something similar to what The Witcher felt like. It's, with its 3 episodes. And one thing just to say, in my opinion, a lot of people now try to show this TV show as a substitute to Game of
they
Thrones.
compare it to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, substitute for Lord of the Rings. It doesn't work that way.
It's
won't
its
be
own
any-
thing.
Yeah,
There
it's
may
an-
be some parallels drawn between Lord of the Rings,
obviously.
obviously, but it's its own thing. It's its own
Yeah,
beast.
so it's not logical to look at this TV show as a substitute for the fantasy TV show, because there is nothing sort of like that. So I think our discussion has ended with the natural state. Hopefully we will have our discussions each week as soon as the episodes come out. I'm really interested how as you said, will it improve gradually by the end of
And
the
will
TV show?
it be able to cover the first book, because it's one of the longest?
But you said that by the names of the episode, it seems that
hopefully.
they will do that.
If they're not leading me on and all the other book fans, they should be able to cover if they go at this pace.
Okay, we'll see. So thank you for listening to us. Hopefully see you next time.